All right.
Is that a Christmas tree, Mike?
Well, it's an all year round Christmas tree. Right now, it's a Cinco de Mayo tree.
Nice. I used to have a year round.
Does that feel better?
Anyway, it's good to be here.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Terry, thank you. Welcome. And as you said, you've seen a couple of these before. So the way it works is we just go around and take turns reading some of the lyrics that we brought with us. That we're.
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute here. I was under the impression that everyone was going to read my lyrics.
Oh. Well.
I don't know.
I'm going to read one. I'm going to read one that we wrote together.
You are?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, and I'll read one that Steve and I wrote together.
Yeah.
Wait, how am I involved in that?
Because
you're not.
It's not all about you.
It's not all about you.
I didn't even inspire it. Okay, I'll forget it.
Things have changed, Terry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I've been holed up too long. I don't know what's going on out there in the youth world.
Yeah, what are the kids into?
The young people.
Yeah, those young kids.
The hip set, the hip cats and the hodads.
Hodad.
The hodads. The Debs and Dolls.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Oh boy. I've already lost control. All right, so Terry, you want to go? You want to kick us off with?
Yeah, kick it off.
You want me to kick it off?
Yeah, kick it.
Please.
Right. The only reason I'm really doing this is to plug my new record.
Good.
Of course you are.
No, partly I want to plug I'm working on a new solo record, and you guys are going to be on it.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, so I thought I'd read something from the new record, a lyric from the new record. This is a song, I'm coming up this month. If you guys can believe this, I'm coming up on my 70th birthday.
No.
70 years old.
No.
Yeah. So one thinks more often of one's mortality, as they say. And so I've got two beautiful grandkids. And Ava is the oldest. And of course, I'm really bonded to her, Mia is pretty young, but Ava is, she's going to be 6 before too long. And so thinking about my mortality, I thought I'd really like to gift her with a song that will mean something to her after I'm gone. And one of the things that she's starting to learn how to read on her own now, she reads picture books, of course. I'm waiting for the time when she can get to the place where she can read children's literature that I've loved through the years and, see the pictures in her own imagination. And so I wrote this song for her, and it's sort of a fairy tale. It's kind of like a map, some of these, the stuff like the Narnia Chronicles or whatever, or Tolkien stuff and all that. They have these little maps. So I wanted to do a sort of an auditory map for her of where she might find me once I'm gone. And it really is in memories. So I call it Ave Ava. Her name's spelled Eva. So when I was looking for a title, I came up with Ave Ava. I thought like a greeting of some sort, and then realized it was a palindrome. I didn't know it till after I wrote the song that you could reverse Ava and it would be Ave. So that was kind of a neat little discovery. Anyway, here it is, Ave Ava. This is not goodbye, life still goes on. A book is open and a curtain's drawn on the dance of spheres in love's review, and the choir of creation sings a song to you, Ave Ava. If I should trip and fall down a rabbit hole, we might meet again by the lamppost in the snow. Or if I go missing in a mystery, things may not be all that they appear to be. You'll find clues in a book called The Golden Key there at the end of the rainbow. Or my dear, if you hear I was never found, lost at sea when this old battered ship went down. Remember water babies like you and me can never ever drown. Ring the bells, all will be well. And Ave Ava, wear the light bright gown of your innocence. Ave Ava, and gather up the leaves of remembrance. Ave Ava, and toss them on the back of the northern wind. They'll lead you to the well at the world's end, and a doormat by a door in a willow tree, reading Ave Ava. Surprise, you've arrived just in time for tea, and the door is unlocked with your golden key. Inside the tree is a fire in the fireplace, a candle glowing in a window draped in lace, your favorite books on the bookshelf by the winding stairs, and in the threadbare arms of an old armchair, perhaps you'll discover that I'm reading there, beneath a portrait of your face. Ring the bells, all will be well. And Ave Ava, follow Poppy's old Mad Hatter's hat. Ave Ava, dancing on a zephyr's feral back. Ave Ava, to a sailing ship in calm waters moored, and a brave regal mouse with his trusty sword. Mouse and crew will bow and welcome you aboard, all hands on deck in one accord cheering Ave Ava. He'll spread his map and speak of plans for setting sail beyond Linton lands. Through a mirror is a meadow you will cross until you find a moonlit door in the face of a mossy hill. Imagine I'm inside, or maybe running free in a secret garden beyond the sea, or busy stringing lights on God's Christmas tree, where loves build a castle in a happily ever after. Ava, you will find me ever after. Ava, you will find me. Ring the bells, all will be well. Ave Ava. Oh, my little gift to my beautiful grandchild.
Wow,
Great.
that is gorgeous. What's great is that it actually sounds like a story. It sounds like you're reading a story. I mean, I love that it's a lyric to a song, but it could just as well be in itself a story. It's beautiful.
You guys remember
Thank you.
that video game called Myst? Do you remember
Oh,
that?
yeah.
It reminds me of that, where, you know, all you see is just maybe a dock at a seaside, or you have to sit and look at the picture and figure out where you opened, to find the mystery. That the whole thing feels kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're just laying out a pathway. It's a really interesting way to create a sort of a for your granddaughter that way. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What inspired you to do that?
Well, again, it was, I think, just the connection. Books are big around here where I am. So the connection between her reading books and these books that she hasn't discovered yet that I have in my collection, that I hope I'm around long enough that we can begin to kind of, break those open and get inside those places that were so that had such an impact on me. I just got through reading the Narnia Chronicles again, so that's something that I hope that she'll grow to love as much as I have. And so,
I think this is the fourth time.
Yeah.
You've done one of these amazing things.
Go ahead, Steve.
And I am weird. So there was a reference, Terry, to a golden key. Is that
George MacDonald? That's a
Yes.
George MacDonald golden key. Yeah, there's little references. Lamppost in the Snow, which is
Yes.
the Find the Witch in the Wardrobe, and some
Reba
other
Keith.
references.
Yeah, it was a reference to Reba
Right.
Keith. Yeah. So great.
Thank you.
Well, really good.
We'll get somebody else do something. I'm in the hot seat here.
Yeah.
Can
So
I-
let's.
Can I
let's do
jump
that.
in and do something in the same lines, as since we start off real sentimental here. I had a real special moment in my life getting to write the first song I ever got to co-write with Terry. We were doing that Mutt album, What year was that Mutt album? Do you guys remember?
What?
Like 2001 or something like that.
Like that. Yeah, it was a very unusual album. It was the first thing I ever did with the Lost Dogs. And the concept was that we did 3 songs from the choir, 3 songs from Daniel Amos, and 3 songs from the Sevens. But none of you guys sang like Terry sang The Lust in the Flesh, and Mike sang To Cover You, and we all sang each other's songs.
Oh, cool.
And it was sort of a gentle record by the nature that Derry's studio at the time, we couldn't record drums. It was real small. So we sort of had to, we were sort of had to do sort of a stripped down thing. And I was so excited to be a part. I wasn't really in the band, but I didn't find out until after the record came out, and you guys put me in the band. You guys put my name on the record, like I'm in the band. And I was like, "What? I didn't know I was in the band." It was so sweet. You guys were so gracious always to me. And but for the 10th song, we needed a 10th song, and so Terry and I went out, and we were so our hearts were aching over the same thing, that my daughter Emily was leaving for college. And his daughter, Noelle, was going off. Where was she going off to? Do you remember?
Santa Barbara.
Yeah. So we were both had this heartache over losing our daughter. So I don't know. How old is Noelle? I mean, Emily's 31 right now. How old is Noelle?
35, yeah.
Okay. All right. But we had this common heart. So we got together on this song, and we sat out one night on that patio. Derry had a little patio there. Do you remember this?
That's right. That night very vividly.
Right. And we're sitting out there, and I'm so excited because I'm co-writing a lyric with Terry Taylor. You know, I'm so excited. And you got the guitar, you wrote the music, and I'm just sitting there with you. I don't know if we had a couple of pads of yellow paper. I don't remember that. But I want to read this lyric. I hadn't even heard it since then. And today I looked at it and I started reading it, and it made me cry again, because that triggers that thing, right? You know, and I say to people, I say to people, if you don't cry when you write a song, no one's going to cry when they hear it. You know,
Yeah.
This is one of those. So I'm going to read this one. It's called "I'm Setting You Free, but I'm Not Letting You Go." Though Mom says I spoil you, here's a little something for spending. Please come home real often and soon. Would you think of us as foolish if we do some pretending by leaving the light on here in your room? I'm setting you free, but I'm not letting you go. I'm watching you fly away, but keeping you close. I can't help but cry a little, heaven knows. I'm setting you free, but I'm not letting you go. Drive slow on the freeways. Call first thing when you get there. You know me, how I worry. I'll be up most of the night. And if you need anything, baby, you know we'll both be here. In the meantime, we're praying that your future is bright. I'm setting you free, but I'm not letting you go. I'm watching you fly away, but keeping you close. I can't help but cry a little. Heaven knows I'm setting you free, but I'm not letting you go. Where's that princess in a party dress? Now she's a young lady with dreams. Fly away, butterfly, on the wind, taking wings. The first time that I held you, child, you forever changed my soul. And I'm holding you now because I want you to know I'm setting you free, but I'm not letting you go. I'm watching you fly away, but keeping you close. I can't help but cry a little, heaven knows. I'm setting you free, but I'm not letting you go.
Good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I don't remember those words. I don't think I've heard it since we did it.
It's beautiful. Terry played the guitar so beautifully on it. It sounds kind of like Cat Stevens or something. It's very lovely.
I remember writing that night and just sharing that comment. Well, we all so discovered, Steve and I, that we had much the same kind of work ethic about the whole thing. So I think we had a long day of recording that day.
Yeah,
I think we still went out there and did that. Mike's
Remember
in
that?
there
We had to have that record ready for a tour. We had to get it done in 10 days or something like that. It was crazy.
You know, Steve, what's weird is I know a guy on Facebook who will go unnamed that hates that song. I think he thinks it, I don't know what it is. It's like he mentions it all the time. It's like he's obsessed with it.
What are you gonna do?
And you go, it is what you experience. I don't think he's ever had a daughter that went away to,
Right.
That's it.
There's a common bond there with those feelings that you have, loss and wanting to keep them in your arms, but letting go. And anyway, yeah. I'll tell you who he is later on. We all know him. We all know him. He's a lovely guy. He loves all our stuff. But he just makes a point every time that album is brought up, how much he despises that song. I don't get it. Anyway, but it's lovely. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, I think it helps if you're a parent. Like I have 2 boys in college that are both graduating, thank God, this semester. But yeah, it's really hard when they leave home and when you have to say goodbye, like, oh my gosh, it's like ripping your heart out.
Yeah, I played that song up in Berkeley for a bunch of students. I think, Mike, you were there with me.
Yeah.
Remember when we
Yeah.
Berkeley? We had students coming up and saying, thank you for that song, because I've never understood the point of view of my parents, how they felt about me going away.
Yeah.
And it really gave me a perspective. So I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. All right, Dr. Love.
Read one of your big golden hits, Mike. Come on.
Well, these aren't golden hits today, but
What do you got?
well, I got a couple of different ones. This one goes back to 1995 when we were doing the Green Room Serenade. This is by request. Keith, you requested this. Normally, I would not read this lyric. But
Wait a minute, why? Why would you not read this lyric normally?
I don't know. It's really obscure. It's just one of those songs that kind of came and went. But it was my sole contribution to the Green Room Serenade. And I've written a lot of these songs about relationships where, from the male point of view, I actually spell out what a man or a guy really is thinking in the relationship, as opposed to what, maybe the girl thinks he's thinking. And I've written a few songs like that, and they always get me in a lot of trouble because they're, they come off as either sexist or in some way, I don't know, negative. But this is called I Don't Love You. There's so many songs I Love You, just like Terry's I Love You Number 19 and all those. It's the most common song title. This is I Don't Love You. And I was thinking about someone who actually is saying how they really feel in the relationship. This is something a man would never admit. And it says, and the only reason I'm doing this is because Keith requested it.
Okay, it's my fault, everybody.
All right. It says, hey, I don't love you. Hey, it's true. We could share and I'll be there for you, but hey, I don't love you. Hey, don't kid yourself. Hey, I'm someone else. I'm not the man we both pretend I am. No. Hey, don't kid yourself. I'll come around from time to time, call you up, invest a dime. That's that. Yeah.
Yes, it
Turtle, invest a dime. Invest a dime. And then let me say it again, because Terry, I need your opinion on this. This was something I wasn't sure about when I wrote this. And Steve too. This is about rhyme, where you place the rhyme within the stanza. Okay, so I'll come around from time to time. I'll call you up, invest a dime, or 3 or 2. But don't you long for me, 'cause, hey, I don't love you. And I always wondered if I did that right, if I should have said or 2 or 3, but don't you long for me? But
I think what you do is a Mike Rowe thing, which I really appreciate. I really love that kind of
where I
stuff.
stall the
I don't-
rhyme out.
Right. And you're like, I would compare you to Tim Chandler, bass
Yeah.
player. What he shouldn't work, but it does.
Right.
Sometimes you do
Break the
things
rule.
within your construct that shouldn't work, but they do. I don't know how else to explain it.
Yeah, I've spent, a couple of decades agonizing over whether I did that right. But I see where, if you say, or 3 or 2, but don't you long for me, cause, hey, I don't love you.
Oh, I like it.
Keep
It's
going.
I love it.
comes through. All right, so then the last line is, most lovers say that they'll be true. Some lovers even say, I do, but I don't, and I won't for you. Believe the truth. I don't love you. It's horrible.
No, it's not.
It's horrible.
No, it's not. You know what you know what I love about it? See, to me, the ironic thing about the lyric is the most loving thing you could do is to tell the truth and be honest and not string this person along and just be straight out with them. Hey, I don't love you. And I love that. To me, it's like it is a love song, but it's a love song that's telling you I don't love you. And that's the most loving thing I can say.
Well, human beings are terrible at saying the word no. I've always said the word no is my favorite word in the English language because no means no. Whereas a yes that's really no, or even a yes that's maybe, is often one of the most hurtful yeses you can give. And we've all done it with each other. We've had friends who do it to us. And it's caused more hurt rather than just saying flat out, no, I won't do that. And in a way, this song was my way of putting the word no in the love song. I don't know why I wrote it, but I felt like, maybe someone needed to do it just once.
Good job.
Yeah.
So there you go. It's pretty. Oh, that's another thing. It's very deceptive because it's sung beautifully.
Yes.
If you guys remember it,
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
and it's sung really gently and with such tender, aching angst.
To the point where I felt kind of disturbed. when I heard it.
You know what the best part of the record is Gene at the end he picks up his electric guitar and plays this crappy C major 7 chord, all distorted. Remember that? Remember that? He had to get the last word, and so he goes, ring. It was so Gene to do that.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
All right, enough. But anyway,
That's great.
here you go.
I love seeing Andrew, but where are you?
Andrew, come on, man. Let me see your long hair.
He leans in. Oh, I
Look at
missed,
you, man.
There we go.
I've missed you so much, Andrew.
You're looking good, dude.
We had that tour that we did, the Terry Taylor Trio. The 3 of us went out. How long ago was that?
Been a while now.
When was
Decade.
that? A decade? That was a really wonderful.
Yeah, I'm loving the stash, dude.
The
I
staff.
love the stash and that sort of Jim Morrison hair. I mean, you got the look.
The whole
Excellent.
thing is like kind of a joke. It's like it's an effort type of situation. Like, all right, why not have a mustache?
I love it.
Andrew always looks cooler than all of us. I
Oh,
don't know how he does it. I guess he's younger.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
More than that. It's not just that. Oh, it's not just that, Mike.
It isn't?
I never saw anything like it. When I was on that tour, we'd be at wherever we were at a gig, and the girls would just Andrew would just walk by, and I never saw heads turn like that in my life. I'm not kidding you.
He's just got a thing, man.
Yeah.
You need to work it. Are you still playing? Are you playing in a band right now at all? I mean, obviously not, but you know what I mean? Like, are you playing with anybody?
I'm not. I haven't for quite a while. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm getting back into writing my own stuff, but
That's cool.
Cool.
And by the way, I'll never be as cool as you guys.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh,
You can You can do that. You can do that, but it's true.
Well, I hope we get to play with you again, man. That was a lot of fun doing that thing that we did. It was great.
What are you talking about, Mike? You weren't on the Terry.
I got to
part of
play
Terry
with
Taylor
him.
Trio.
No, I know, but I played with him once. I don't know what it was. Was it a Cornerstone maybe?
It wasn't the Terry Taylor Quartet. What are you
Oh, I
talking?
know what it was. I had to take his place that year at Cornerstone. I had to learn all those bass parts like within like 24 hours or something. It was a haunting, painful memory.
In Kansas City, we played together.
Oh,
Kansas City. No.
Kansas City?
Yeah, we played in Kansas City. It was me and.
We did we did a gig together. I played with Michael Miller. We all played together.
that one. Oh, right. And you guys went on
That's
so
what
long.
A rutabaga in his luggage.
That's right. We put that big cucumber, whatever that was.
Oh my gosh!
Remember that?
Yes, that's horror. That was up. Oh, who was at Joe Cody's house up in Minneapolis? I open up my suitcase and there's a rotting rutabaga.
Yeah, that was me.
It was all liquefied.
I did it.
What is this? And it was all liquefied, and it almost ruined all my clothes, all my panties.
Terry told me to do it. Terry told me to put it in.
Don't blame it on me.
No, I did it, but you told me to do it.
It was unbelievable. I mean, that thing was big. It was like this. It was huge. It was like, where did you guys get that cucumber?
It was a cucumber.
I want to remember his name. We played at that show with the tire swing in South Carolina, and they gave us all those vegetables.
Was that out there in fields or something?
It was.
Yeah. The cornfield. They gave us all those. They grew those vegetables themselves.
Yeah, what are you going to do with vegetables
On the road? They gave to take on the road.
You guys were paid?
We
You guys were paid vegetables?
You loaded us with giant vegetables.
You remember, Steve, that we had that, and even on tour, something exploded, and it was like this bizarro. Like we're like, what's that smell?
It was in my tennis bag. The tomatoes were in my tennis bag. And then I had to throw. I never.
It's like we had a dead body in there.
I had to throw away my tennis bag. Why did I bring that? I never played. I mean, there's nobody. I didn't get to play tennis.
I don't play tennis.
All right, next. Steve,
Yeah.
read a lyric.
No,
Terry's
Terry.
up.
Oh, is it Terry now?
Oh, it's Terry. I'm not reading anything.
All right, Terry, go.
All right. Well, I guess I'm going to go a different direction. This laughter and frivolity here. I wrote. My mom died a few years back with complications from Alzheimer's, and we used to go visit her, and slowly she was losing more and more of herself, her memory. She couldn't remember any of the places where she had lived in the past. And sometimes she would remember who I was, other times she didn't. And it really is more of a strain and a burden on the family than it was on her. I mean, we could see this all happening, and it was heartbreaking. But one of the things I remember that sort of was a bright side of all of that was that she could remember whole song lyrics. She could, and the melodies. And this is kind of common with Alzheimer's patients. And I remember one day that we went in, and she was singing, of all things, Engelbert Humperdinck's "Please Release Me," which I thought was applicable to her situation. And so it inspired this song that I call "She's Miles Away." She's neither here nor there, but somehow she's still with us. A blessing and a curse that she doesn't seem to miss us. And that same old radio hit keeps her constant company. She sings it endlessly. And the devil loves to tease me when she sings, please release me. She can't go and she can't stay. She's with me now. She's miles away. She floats among the star fields, tied to her bed of flesh, still laughing at my jokes. It's the setup she forgets. And with each memory receding, she's long past the time for leaving. She can't go and she can't stay. She's with me now. She's miles away. Not yet gone to Jesus. It's like the demons won't let go. They'll laugh when they steal my name, but they'll scream when they lose her soul. I want to know how she's doing, and I don't want to know. She can't go, she can't stay. She's with me now. She's miles away.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
You've written so many wonderful songs about your grandparents. Way back Sanctuary, right? I mean, your grandfather, you know, and how she loved the morning, but he took her in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody asked me, somebody had found out that after I'd lost my grandfather and my grandmother, and I had done both those records, Knowledge and Innocence and Briefing for the Ascent. Briefing was a tribute to my grandmother, and Knowledge and Innocence to my grandfather.
Yeah.
And somebody who knew me, I'd lost somebody else along the way, and they said, "Oh, you're going to do a new record?" You know, it's like a sort of a gallows humor type of thing. But yeah, it brings, you know, it brings out something in me that's no, I want to try and articulate what other, like we do with our lyrics. We're trying to articulate what others are feeling we can't quite express. So that's all part of the process, part of the grieving process.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, a hard one to write, but very beautiful. My dad is going through early stages of dementia right now. And so, yeah, I really appreciate that song. Thank you.
Thank you.
We went down Route 66 together, all the way from Chicago to the Santa Monica Pier. How many years ago was that?
Oh,
About almost 12.
Yeah. In an RV, we rode in an RV. Jimmy Abeg was with us shooting it. We had the idea that we were going to make a documentary or whatever it was going to be. That never happened. Turns out we know how to make records, but we don't know.
Well, I'm still determined before I go through that dark gate.
Yeah.
To get that thing completed. We're going to get it.
There was good stuff captured. So I'm going to read one. I'm going to change the tone here. But remember, we just started out, and we were in Springfield, Illinois, and we were reading all the stuff, like especially you, Terry. You didn't want to miss anything. I mean, it would have taken like 6 months to do what you wanted to do. Stop at every, you know. But in the tour book, there was supposedly going to be a shootout, a Bill Hickok shootout in the square, in the Springfield Square. And I was so excited about it because I like the whole Wild West thing a lot, you know. And I remember I made it, so we got to go to they're going to have a shootout reenactment there, right? And we all, remember that? We all got out of the RV and we're all like, I'm waiting, I'm looking where is it? I swear it's right here in the tour book. And there's nothing happening. We get back in the RV and somebody says, Steve, it was not Springfield, Illinois, it's Springfield, Missouri.
Whoops.
So like, but I still like, the story, all the information was in the tour book. So I wrote the song, you know, based on the tour book, and I wrote it anyway. Heck it, you know, I'm just going to write the song anyway. And it's a lot of fun. Like this song is an example of a narrative, you know. Like Terry, you write a lot of narratives. Like you'll make up. Sometimes it's based on some truth, like Corona Del Mar. It's actually a real person, or this business is going down, some made up thing. And it's sometimes good to get out of your own head, your own thing, and just write something that's outside of yourself, you know. And so I wrote. This is a story of the Bill Hickok story. And I was so excited to get a song on Old Angel, you know. It was like, anyway, so here, this is one of my, Dave Tutt fought for Dixie pride. Wild Bill was Union loyal. They fancied one same woman, bad blood began to boil. Tutt stole Hickok's pocket watch, foolhardy, whiskey bold. Tempers flared, pistols fired. Dave Tutt lay still and cold. Them were wicked guns Bill Hickok drew. Not just one 6-shooter, but 2. His hands were quick, son. His aim was true. Yeah, them were wicked guns Bill Hickok drew. Bill Mulvey was a reckless lout, a killer from Missouri. Aimed his rifle at Wild Bill, then spun around in a hurry when Wild Bill yelled, "Don't shoot, he's drunk!" To no one anywhere, Mulvey caught Bill Hickok's bullet in his temple and died there. Them were wicked guns Bill Hickok drew. Not just one 6-shooter, but 2. His hands were quick, son. His aim was true. Yeah, them were wicked guns Bill Hickok drew. Shakalaka pow pow. Shaka pow 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 pow.
We went over that quite a bit when we were doing the recording. How many pals or whatever?
I did the
That's a
drum.
great.
I did 6 drum hits, you know. Boom, you know, it's the detail.
Yeah. That's it. All in the detail.
I don't remember any of that.
What do you mean?
I remember the song, but not the. I remember the drum thing. That was at the beginning, right? Like that's how the song.
Beginning and the end. The beginning and the end.
Wow, I didn't realize that. You never told me that.
Why? I didn't tell anybody. This is the first time I've ever told anybody.
Wow, revelation.
Yeah.
Didn't we do that? Didn't we do that vocally? Didn't we do the chicka chicka pal things?
Yeah, you did the
Vocally?
shakalaka. Yeah, you did.
Okay. That was it. Yeah.
That was you that added the. I did the drum thing, and then I don't. Did you know there was six hits? 6
Yeah.
shots. Of course you did.
Yeah.
See,
Pow, pow.
Jerry and Mike are off doing whatever, right?
Oh, they're over sleeping, you know, eating stuff. We're in there slave, trying to save it.
The thing I remember about that recording is that originally Terry was slated to sing it, and we all wanted to get in on it, you know. And so we had to gingerly approach Terry, you know, when got him in a good mood one day, remember, and we said, "Now, Terry, remember you were sitting outside, you were in a great mood." And we went, "Now, Terry, can we talk about a thing?" And you go, you sensing impending doom, you said, "Yes."
You put me in a bad spot, Mike. You put me in a terrible spot because
I know.
Because Terry wanted to sing it. I was so thrilled. I didn't think you guys would want to put my song on your record, you know, and I was so excited. And Terry said, "I want to sing it." And I'm like, I was so thrilled. I was thrilled, you know, and then you came to me like on the sly, you know. I think Terry, you said the word Shanghai'd it. He Shanghai'd it.
I don't know about that. I just felt like I just wanted to get in on it.
It worked out, you know. Terry sang.
We worked it out. We all kind of got in on it, and then we all sang a little bit. But I still, when I think of it, I think of Terry singing it mostly.
Terry owned it.
I really wasn't trying to hold on to that song.
Oh, I know.
When you guys suggested you wanted to sing it, I thought, that's great, fine.
Yeah, totally.
We had a lot of fun. That's one of the fond memories of that record was doing that.
Although, Mike, I could have done what you sang a lot better, but nevertheless, we let you have your little moment. Your little.
Didn't you sing on it also?
No, I didn't sing on it.
It was just me and Terry and
Derry. We traded off lines. It was great. It was great. I appreciate it, you guys.
Oh yeah, Derek.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Very good. Great story too. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think the Lost Dogs, that challenged me to write those sorts of story narrative songs. Because prior to that, few things like that, but I got kind of with the prospect of the Dogs and doing Americana and telling tales and stuff. I thought, can I do this? Do I know how to do this? I'm not sure I do. And so it's great to sort of exercise that bit of myself that lay dormant for a long time.
Yeah.
But that's a great song. Yeah. I love that song.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So, Mike.
Well, I love the idea of collaborating with these guys, but it only happens occasionally. It should happen more. But Steve and I collaborated a couple of times, most recently on a song from the House on Fire Kerosene Halo record. And Derry had a track, and he had kind of a melody, and he had a title, A Long, Long Time Ago. And I got the feeling that it was about Derry and a previous relationship, real important relationship, the main one.
His ex-wife.
Yes, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
This relationship pretty much defined Derry in a lot of ways, and I don't think that it's ever really completely left him. He had his kids with his wife, and so I wanted to write a song for them, for the two of them, because that title sparked that, a long, long time ago. Because by the time we came up with this, it had been quite a while.
Yes.
But I sketched it out and probably got halfway through it, and I got stuck, I really wanted to be able to do it, but I just thought, this has got to be great, and I can't finish it. So I called Steve and I said, I got to change it. You got to help me. So we got together one night, actually in her house, I think, ironically. And I only just now realized that probably was really, really significant, that's where we put this thing together.
I realized it at the time.
I didn't even enter my mind at the time. But now that I'm talking about it, I'm going, wow, it's like her soul was in it. She wasn't there. But,
I love high irony in the tension and so on.
It is ironic.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it goes, once I thought I knew what I knew, sure that I belonged. Now I'm alone, shivering in the cold, guessing I was wrong. Did we stand too far from the fire, afraid to walk on the coals? How we ran from the flame of desire a long, long time ago. If I could, I'd undo the pain, unsay the foolish things I said. Please believe our love was not in vain. Good regret. Did we hide from the heat of the sun, only to freeze in the snow? Forever two, never to be one, a long, long time ago. Smiling faces in the photographs. Honey, we had good times too. Sometimes we cried, sometimes we laughed. And I will always love you. Did we stand too far from the fire, afraid to walk on the coals? How we ran from the flame of desire a long, long time ago. It really got it, and I knew that we got it because when I handed it to Derry, he did something very uncharacteristic. He ran to the studio and recorded the vocal as quickly as he could. This is so unlike Derry.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Usually you gotta like coax him and prod him and get him to do it, and I knew that we had it. I knew that we got it because he couldn't wait to sing that, and he did the most beautiful job. He put his heart and soul in it, and that's when I knew that we'd captured what it was I wanted to be able to say. And you, Steve, I couldn't have done it without you. That was a really good combination. And we banged it out in 2 hours. I like the line about walking on the coals because it makes me think of that stupid Tony Robbins idiotic thing, where he dares his followers to walk on coal so that they, you know, they can do anything that they set their mind to do. And then there's all these lawsuits of because people get burned sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But even so, you know, it was a great metaphor for that.
Yeah. Yeah,
I listened to it. I listened to it tonight before. I had to write it down because it wasn't anywhere in print, and I can't listen to that without choking up, man. It's just, you know, it's nice to be able to do that for your friend when you feel like you want to say something for your friend that maybe they can't say for themselves. So I think we've all kind of done that for each other at times.
I think you're right.
One way or another, you know, it isn't always overt, but I think we have written about each other, you know, one way or another.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a gift. Do you remember, I mean, not that it necessarily really matters so much in the details of it, but so you guys co-wrote it together and, you know, you got it to a point and then you kind of needed help with it. Like what were the missing pieces that got added in later? Do you remember, or does it all kind of blur together now?
For that song?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I know that I had the beginning, the whole thing about once I thought I knew what I knew, you know, and a few other lines, you know, it's all there, but then Steve has a way of really, it was a thing where you bounce off each other and it just happens in a real dynamic way really fast.
Yeah.
You know, and you struggle to get the rhyme, struggle to get the line. And if one guy doesn't have it, the other guy gets it.
Yeah, the next guy finishes it. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I don't remember at all. I don't remember, but I just know that there's a lot of love in that relationship. You know.
yeah, it's a song that had to be written, and it wrote itself, but it took both of us struggling to bring that forth, you know. And I'm glad that we didn't have to hide it or try to disguise it. I hate when you have to do that. When you're writing about someone and you don't want them to know, it's like we put this out there. It's like I didn't go and tell Gary who it was about. I didn't have to, you know.
Yeah.
It was obvious.
Do you realize, Mike, that every song I've written is about you?
Well, that's probably the greatest compliment you could ever give anybody. So
Exactly.
I've written a lot of hate songs about girls, you know. And I think that's part of the problem of why I've been so laconic over the last several years is because I'm now happily married. When I was in relationships that were troubled, you know, that brings so much pain sometimes that it's easy to pour yourself out, you know, and that's a bad habit to get into where you feel like I have to live all these things out in a negative way in order to write something, you know, but I think there's some writers that do that. I think like Elvis Costello early in his career did that a lot when he was, you know, sort of really behaving badly. And he caught himself doing that. I think he finally, it was sort of a wake-up call that maybe I'm living all these things out, you know, and it's not a good thing to do because eventually you're going to end up sick or ill or dead. You know. He found a different way to go about it, and I think that changed his life in a lot of ways. So,
right.
But you guys, Terry and Steve, are far more, you know, journeyman, craftsmen, disciplined in the art of the craft of writing. Whereas to me, it was always a fitful response to some negative situation, and you know.
Yeah. It was pretty. I mean, Terry and I did have a bit of a laugh about, you know, the Kerosene Halo getting together. Like, remember, you know, just like, so how are those two guys gonna? I mean, we love your obviously the talent, the beauty, but like, are these two guys gonna get a record done?
Well, that's why the second album was
right.
It was produced by the Procrastination Brothers.
Right.
Brian Healy came up with that.
That's great.
Eventually, it did happen. It did.
Yeah, I would say it's quite miraculous that we banged a couple of records out, and both of them are pretty good. You know, I'm happy with them. So
Beautiful records, yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
but it is harder to do it as a duo than as when the four of us do it, because
Yeah, because
all
Terry
four of
shows
us-
up with all the songs.
well, that's true. But even when it wasn't true, there's something about that forward momentum of four guys pushing to get it done. And usually we had a timeline in order to make a tour or a festival or something. Right. So when you have a goal and you have four guys pushing, it's way easier than if it's just a couple of lazy guys that no accounts that can't get anything done. Then it drags out forever. You know? So I like, remember we called it the dog's way, the whole thing of the dog's way. The fact that we could just get in and get good now, don't get good later. You know, do it like they did it in the 40s and 50s, where you had to record live, and if it wasn't going to happen now, it wasn't going to happen at all.
Right.
You know, and I think all those records have an immediacy. I never listen to Dogs records and think about, you know, it being painstaking or labored over. It always has a fresh immediacy because it was done so quick. I don't even remember doing it.
That's because you had Terry at the helm, getting it done. That's why.
That's true. I have to give him props.
And then when you had Terry and me both, then it was going to get done.
That's right.
You know, so why don't we do another one, you know, coming up?
Yeah, why? It's been 10 years. Now who's to blame for that?
Let's get in the studio for 2 weeks and knock out a record.
Let's bang it out, man.
Do it. Come on.
It's like me. When we're in the studio, we get pissed if somebody wants to go have lunch.
Yeah, that's how Terry and I are, right?
Yeah, it's
right.
bad. It can. That's the downside of it, but we get it done anyway.
Terry,
nothing I love more. On a record, we got to do another record, don't we? Are we gonna have to do it remotely? Is that what's going to happen?
Let's do another record.
I don't want to do it remotely, but we'll do it. I think it'll happen.
Just get in the studio for 2 weeks and knock it right out.
Why not? You know.
Yeah, I bet if you guys just picked a date on the calendar, booked some time, got together, it would happen.
Yeah, I think enough time has passed now where I just feel like it would be a lot. We did it for 20 years and maybe we burned out, but I'm ready now.
Good.
I will say, I've got all the songs.
I'm sure you do.
He's been waiting.
What, like 300 songs?
No.
Get this big backlash from the 77 fans. You know, Terry's hogging all the songwriting. What's going on? How come Mike didn't write?
Yeah. Wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why. Because I didn't want to do the work. Well, let's wrap this up. My wife's got another Zoom meeting coming up, so we got to get it going now.
All right.
You're the one to wrap it up.
What's
Anyway.
that?
You're always the guy that wants to wrap it up. I've seen this broadcast.
It's an hour
Podcast.
long, and we've already gone over, so let's finish up. Let's do another tune.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to read you a strange one here. This is the first time I released it to the public.
Really?
Anyway. Yeah.
Exclusive. We have an exclusive here. All right.
Exclusive. Yeah, this is a little tale. This is a little mystery. And, the first literary detective was a guy named August Dupin. And he was invented by Edgar Allan Poe. So the first time I ever read a detective novel was Poe's novel with this August Dupin, who was sort of the forerunner of Sherlock Holmes and all that was to follow. And so I tell this tale from the viewpoint of August Dupin. This is called From the Case Files of August Dupin, is the name of the song. And what it is it's sort of a metaphysical mystery, but it's in this Victorian house, and all these sleuths that are actually authors or fictional characters from their books, they come together to solve this mystery in this house. And it's sort of a Victorian era type of thing. But they also call on modern writers to come and join them in solving this mystery. They bring in Neil Gaiman, and they bring in Stephen King, and all these sleuths are trying to solve this particular mystery. So anyway, here's from the case files of August Dupin. A telltale heart is softly beating behind the walls, the floor, the ceiling of the locked room where you're kneeling to touch the stain left by your bleeding, which form this imprint of your head. Can these clues be more intriguing when no whodunit is this misleading? We've deduced you can't be breathing, so are we premature in grieving, though it's very clear that you are dead? So bringing wits and secret ciphers, iPads, quills, pens, and typewriters, the book world's prominent insiders arrive to make our burden lighter and to have a look around. That's when Gaiman, Moore, and King say, we have found a hidden doorway, then going down a winding staircase. In Lewis Carroll's style, our foray shortly leads us underground to a shadowy room that is concealing truth Sir Doyle's candlelight's revealing. Not dead ends, canards, or double dealings, herrings red, dark deceivings, folklore, myths, tall tales, or fables. It is the thing we've all been seeking, once diaphanous and fleeting, a telltale heart still softly beating, wrapped in parchment we are reading, nailed to a bloody broken table. Wide-eyed, stunned, and barely breathing, each sleuth silently retreating, without the need to say in leaving, there is enough here for believing, that is, of course, assuming we are able. So in the end, there's this, the stunning final twist. All in all, we never saw all we are now seeing.
Like the Edgar Allan Poe thing, the Telltale Heart. Were you? I didn't know. Have we ever talked about? We've never talked. Were you an Edgar Allan Poe fan, or Terry?
Well, I'm a fan of Edgar. I haven't read, it's not like I've religiously read all his stuff. But yeah, I'm a Poe fan.
Yeah.
Poe fan. Fan Poe. Yeah.
Poe fan Poe.
I want to hear that.
I want to hear that.
I want to hear that set to music.
I want to hear that set to me.
Oh yeah, it's really good. It's a song that Keggy plays on, but he does a little backwards guitar on it. And,
Nice.
It's very mysterious and it's really wonderful. Yeah.
He kind of frips it out.
There you go.
He frips it
In
out.
the best way possible.
That's beautiful.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank
You want
you.
to move quickly through?
Yeah, let's go on through.
I want to read the one that I wrote with Mike Rowe. I have written very few with you, a few now, but like the first one was on the same album on the Old Angel record. And remember when we went down Isaac's Grove?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got stuck in the van. We were afraid we were going to get it stuck, and we had to turn it.
Yeah, it was like a really narrow. Tell that thing. What was the significance of that? That was
Terry knows. I don't remember.
Terry always wanted us to go. He was taking us on these adventures, and it was always we're running out of daylight all the time, right?
Yeah, well, we would be late. Yeah.
Running out of daylight.
All the
There's
time.
a metaphor.
Yeah. So, but that was that night we drove down there. It got really scary almost because it was so narrow, and we had the RV, and we couldn't just like whip it around,
Is it got a farm up there, or these people that I don't know what it was, cider or
There was some destination you wanted us to arrive at, and we were just like, you're all just at some
Yeah,
point.
we got there too late, and it was just too weird.
Right.
We were afraid we were going to get the RV stuck.
Right. So I wrote the thing, and Mike, I handed this lyric to Mike, and you just came up with this thing, and it was so beautiful. It's just one of my favorite things that anyone has set music to, and So it's about, so okay, Jimmy Abegg was on the trip with us in the RV. So Jimmy's eyes were round and bright, a sinister moon hanging low that night, sneaking in and out of sight behind those maple trees. Mysterious jaunt off old 66, heading straight into the heart of an orchard thick. I got to hoping that pretty quick we would turn the RV around. The time has come, the time is now, to turn it around. The time has come, the time is now, to turn it around. Dark and eerie the night we drove, down into the shadows of Isaac's grove, pondering the times when I knew I dove down deeper than I should have gone. A true voice whispers from somewhere inside, pleading with a man to do the thing that's right. Run from darkness into the light. Find the mother road and just drive on. The time has come, the time is now, to turn it around. The time has come, the time is now, to turn it around. Yeah.
Is that it?
That's one of my favorite songs. I love the lyric. I love what Mike captured on this mysteriousness of it. Yeah, it's a great song. That's a great song.
Yeah.
I remember being at Derry's house and spending days turning those chords around. You know, there was several combinations and ways to make them cycle back to each other.
Turn.
What?
No, go ahead.
I probably tried every possible chord combination. You guys kept saying, "What are you doing up there?" And I'm working it out. Get that song done. We got to record it, you know. And and I remember when I finally got it. It has a kind of an Eagles thing, you know, a little bit. But no, that was great. I have fond memories of working on all those tunes with you guys. It was multi-dimensional, that record. Probably the deepest record we made. And I'm glad that was the last one we made, because if that was the last one forever, let's say we never did it again, I would say you can bury us with that one, because we worked as hard as we could and came up with this epic. You know, we didn't get the film done, but the album was the film in a sense. You know, the album.
Everybody worked really hard on that record. Really worked hard.
Yeah, it was very cinematic, and
yeah.
So it was a good note to leave on for that time. But like you said, it would be really a lot of fun to do another one after all these years, and
Oh yeah.
just have fun doing it. You know.
I want to say about the song, at the end of the song, you hear the wind chimes like going, there's these wind chimes. And I had, you know, in Tim Chandler's backyard, they had these, you know, where you have that pool and stuff. There was these wind chimes. I love the sound of them. And I had a phone app that I could identify the pitch. And so I went, I sang into it, you know, so I knew what key it was. So I knew that this song was in the key of those wind chimes. So I went over to the Chandlers, I remember one afternoon, and I just went into the backyard. And I went up there, I was getting the wind, and Maria Chandler came out and says, "What are you doing?" You know, I'm taking your wind chimes to record. I'll bring them back.
That's funny.
Listen to it. Listen to them in the background. The key, it's droning in the key of the song.
I didn't know that.
Check it out.
That's awesome.
You don't know you're not paying attention to what's going on, Mike.
And I'm glad Tim played bass on that whole record too, you know.
He played greatly on it.
You know, the only thing I regret was, you know, I kept, it was an epic record and I wanted it to be even more epic. And I remember that I had written a couple of commercials that we never did perform.
The Cozy Dog one. What's the Cozy Dog?
Cozy Dog, and I did another one about what was that? What's the Indian structure? What are they called? Yeah. Totem pole. You know, the totem pole something or other didn't have a totem pole, and it was a plug for that business. Well, there were a couple other things.
I think that the Cozy Dog or whatever it was is on film. We filmed ourselves singing it in the restaurant.
Right. That was great.
I don't remember the totem pole one, but it's possible we filmed that as well. If you,
Another M.
it's all on the video somewhere.
Remember, we had people. We'd gather people at different spots on there because we were doing the whole interstate versus Route 66,
Yeah,
and we had
that's
people
right.
seeing Eisenhower and then spitting. Remember that?
Oh yeah,
As Eisenhower.
You were making
And then-
people
and
say,
then-
"I hate Ike," and spit.
I hate Ike.
Hate Ike, and then we realized that we were offending. I hate Ike, spit, and then
No,
we
they
then
say
we realized,
interstate and spit.
Interstate.
Remember one
Oh,
guy
is that what it
hopped a lug real hard and he got too far into it. Remember that? And it was
I
all,
remember big Lou.
yeah, some guy hocked a lug, man, right on the ground. It was just so gross.
We soon realized that we were offending veterans, or people that were acquainted with that era, that were closer to that era.
Right. A few
And,
people refused.
Yeah, we changed that up. We changed it. We did it a few times, then realized the mistake. People, casting aspersions towards Eisenhower, so we got that changed.
Well, here's Derry. Derry feels left out.
Oh,
Oh, Derry.
So next time we got to get him in on this.
I'm happy to have him come.
I tried to get him. Yeah.
He even doesn't even have any gravy on his plate. Look at that. It's all
Oh,
vegetables.
that's pretty sad. That's why he's sad. Look, he's sad because it's vegetables. He's not sad because he's
Oh, okay.
That's exactly right.
Well, that's all I got. I'm done.
All right. So everybody's done. Everybody's done now.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
gone an hour and 17 minutes. I'd say that's a good start for this time.
I agree. Thank
Gary,
you.
you should come
One
back,
grows-
Gary.
One grows weary of casting pearls before swine.
Oh, guys, listen. I've been watching some of the comments, by the way. People are, there's a guy who's actually live, what do you call it, where you're like live blogging or live, he's like play-by-play, posting, live posting, that's what it is. He's live posting this whole thing right now in the 90s alternative Christian group. There's lots of people sharing it and watching it and loving it. So, Terry, I would love to have you come back and do this again next week. Or
I love to. I love seeing my old friends, and man, I miss everybody so
Oh,
much.
totally.
Yeah.
Terry, give him a big.
There's on the front of those barbecue sauce things doing that.
Oh yeah.
Yes, Yeah, I think on the label of the sauce, we're both doing that. Like,
We have one.
So stupid.
oh boy, we got to get back on the road. Come on, man. Let's get in the van and go. Let's
Let's
go.
get the band back together, guys. Come on. If
We got to do it.
if the end result of this whole thing is that the dogs get back together and go on the road again and record a record, my job is done. I will be so thrilled.
Well, I'm going to go on. You guys all got to pitch in and get me a gold-plated walker.
What we need to do is buy George Jones' $1 million bus is what we need with the big, aquarium in there and all that. Remember when we built George Jones and Brian Martin was talking about his bus and how when he walks in there, it's like a living room. He's got a big aquarium and a big easy chair and a lousy Susan, spinning around. And
We went in that
It was
thing.
in
Didn't you
I
go in
didn't
there?
go in. You went in? I didn't.
Anaheim.
I looked in there.
You
Yeah.
guys open for
In Anaheim. Yeah, we opened in Anaheim. We did.
Yeah.
We did a couple of. Thrill of my life, man.
Oh, it was amazing.
Well, we need to do some more reminiscing next time, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it
Sounds good.
again.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
We'll get
Thank you,
Derry
guys.
in there.
Let's get Terry in.
love you guys.
Love you too. Thanks, Keith.
Hey, thank you guys. I'm blessed. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thanks for throwing the party, Keith.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you guys for making the party fun.
Love that you're doing this.
Yeah, it's a blast, man. I'm loving it. It's been so great. Take care.
See you, Andrew.
Love you.
Wait, this is Doc Love. So long.